What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Keep It Hoop YouTube channel. So, LaMelo Ball is playing his brother Lonzo tonight, and to commemorate that, I wanted to look back at his season so far, break down a little bit of his stats, and then also take a look at his last game against the Atlanta Hawks where he played really well. Before we get started, if you guys could like, subscribe, share, comment, be greatly appreciated. We recently hit 10,000 views on our YouTube channel views, so that was great. And we are, just trying to do more. So if you could, also follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, links in the description below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So I want to talk about his stats a little bit first. He's averaging 11.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 5 assists a game, or 4.9, but pretty much 5, and 1.6 steals a game. And that's pretty on par with what I thought he would do. And the points will, I think, go up and down a bit. I mean, he's already had some pretty good scoring games, which I was surprised about. His field goal percentage was something that I think most people were worried about coming into the season. Now, it is at 40.5, and that's by no means good, especially for a point guard and someone his size. You'd ideally want that hovering around 45, anywhere from 43 to 45, and the higher the better, obviously. But he's shooting 34 from 3, which isn't bad. And granted, especially if you take into consideration some of the shots he's taken, I think that's a percentage you'll live with for, I mean, pretty much throughout his whole career. If you could hover around like 35, I think you live with that 100% because you add that with his defense, his rebounding. His defense hasn't been amazing, but he has the potential to be a good defender, right, with his size and length and above average athleticism. His rebounding, which he's obviously going to be grabbing a decent amount of boards just because of his height and his passing. So pretty much 12, 5, and 5 on 40% and 34% from the field and three. So not bad. But if you take a closer look, so the last 5 games, so from his 4th career game to his 8th career game, so 5 games, then that's when the numbers look really impressive. He's averaging 15, 6, and 6 on 43 from the field, so a lot better. And I know it's just 3%, 40 to 43, but that is a big difference. And 32 from 3, so not the 35. So his 3-point percentage has been a little bit down in the last 5 games, but higher field goal percentage. I think that's a switch or a percentage difference you're willing to take. And then he's 2 steals a game almost, so you like that, using his length and getting in the passing lanes. Half a block a game, again, you appreciate that. And then 2 turnovers a game, which I think was impressive, at least for me. I didn't expect it. I thought he would have a bit more turnovers to start the season. He is a ball handler that, sometimes he goes for the flashy plays, and a lot of young players, especially rookies and point guards, just have a lot of turnovers. You're playing almost a new game at this point. You're playing with the best athletes, the best basketball players in the world. You're playing at a faster pace, more possessions. It usually just leads to a lot of turnovers. But the fact that he's kept it down to 1.8 has been pretty impressive. And that's with the fact that he has a usage rate of 24. So it's not low per any means, right? Like, he has a 32.4 assist percentage, which means he's assisting on almost a third of the shots that his team makes while he's on the floor. So he's handling the ball, he's getting the ball to guys, he's creating the plays and facilitating the offense, and he's only averaging 2 turnovers a game, which I thought was pretty good. Granted, right now he does only play 24 minutes per game, and I'm sure as the Hornets progress into the season and obviously later on in his career, he's going to play more minutes. So if you look at his per 36, and I know, again, we've done this with other videos and other players, per 36 is never a perfect estimate or a perfect way to determine how a player would play if he played more minutes. You have to take into things like fatigue and just team chemistry, and there's just so many different factors to determining what a player might do. But per 36 is one of the better ways, and it's been somewhat reliable. So if you look at his per 36, he's averaging 17.6 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, and 2.4 steals, and 3 turnovers. But that's still 3 turnovers compared to the 7.7 rebounds, or 7.3 assists. I'm sorry. So that's still an assist to turnover ratio of 2, over 2. So you take that, and again, even if it's not a perfect representation of what he would put up with more minutes, you're looking at a guy who could average anywhere from 16 to 18 points, and then 6 to 8 rebounds, 6 to 8 assists, and a guy who can flirt with triple doubles. And triple doubles obviously don't equate to wins or competing 100% of the time. I mean, Russell Westbrook's one of my favorite players, or was at least, and the Wizards can barely win right now. Right, and Russell is close to averaging, or if not, I think he actually might be averaging a triple double right now. But to have a franchise point guard that you drafted in the lottery being able to put up numbers like this, or having the potential to put up numbers like this, is what you want. And I think we'll see from the video and the highlight videos from the Hawks game that LaMelo isn't just an empty stat sheet stuffer. Like, he's not just chasing stats. And I really do believe the plays he has been making, and some of them don't even end up on the stat sheet, but he's making winning plays. And Charlotte has been pretty fun to watch, and Terry Rozier's been pretty good, and Gordon Hayward's been very good this year. And I do feel bad for Devonte Graham a bit, because with LaMelo coming in, he's kind of lost his place. He's shooting a pretty low percentage, I think close to 30%. His minutes and numbers are just way down, and just after the season he had last year, it sucks to see a guy who worked up from being not really talked about, not hyped at all, to having a really good season last year. He finds himself in a tough position. The Hornets didn't, not that they didn't have a choice, but I mean, look, if you're going to go with Devonte Graham, and I'm a fan of Devonte Graham, but if you're going with Devonte or LaMelo, you're still going LaMelo if you have the chance to draft. But yeah, so we'll go into the game right here. Early game, uses the pump fake. So right away, you see the just the IQ, right? So he's shooting a well enough percentage where Kevin Huerter, who's by no means an elite defender, but he's not an awful defender. He's still going for the pump fakes, because LaMelo has shown that he's willing to shoot them, because he's averaging, I think, 4 threes a game almost. And yeah, he's averaging 4.4 attempts a game, and he's making 1.5 a game. So we go back to 34% 3-point percentage. He's making enough where Kevin Huerter has to bite on the fake, gets into the rim, uses his size, nice little creative finish, uses the left off the backboard. So nice finish there. You see here, he's not afraid to get into the paint, go out and rebound. And it's not just rebounds that just come out to him, or rebounds where he's just getting a lot of rebounds because he's playing a lot of minutes. Because there are guys like that. He's boxing out John Collins, who's a plus, an average or an above average rebounder. He's going up and getting it. He isn't afraid to be physical. And then he starts the transition, knows that he has a man advantage, makes a really nice pass here, stays very patient instead of trying to force something, stays patient, sees that the paint is somewhat clogged. There's 4 in the paint, doesn't force it. Look here, he looks off, right? So he's looking at Devonte Graham, and the Hawks then gravitate towards that. No look pass to Gordon Hayward for a wide open shot. The patience is great. The vision is great. You see here, and this is what I'm talking about with not just going after stats. Like, he's not getting good numbers off of just going ISO and then kicking it out to a guy and forcing them to make a three. He's willing to pass it when he needs to, and even if it doesn't lead to an assist, and there's no guarantee that this leads to an assist. Gordon could have taken the three, and he ends up not doing it, and not sure if he got credited with an assist on this play, but still, just the unselfishness to swing the ball and make that extra pass. And even if it's, because we've seen guys like Russ or Harden yell at guys for not taking the shot, right? And it really seems to me that he's really just trying to make the winning play, right? Just extra pass, swings it, gets Gordon a nice look. Gordon with a nice floater there, but winning play right there from LaMelo Ball. And these are the plays you like to see from someone who's going to be your franchise point guard. The 3-point shot here, again, like the confidence. He's knocking it down at around 34-35% rate. You take that 100%. This is just bad defense by Trey, but LaMelo uses his size, uses that advantage over Trey to get the pass over him. He can go ISO. You see here, he calls for the screen, and then ends up getting Gordon Hayward a really nice play there. Just again the confidence and the patience, right? Well, I mean, Trey Young on LaMelo might be a mismatch to begin with. Trey's not a good defender. Trey's short, and LaMelo's by no means a dominant isolation player or a scorer at this point in his career. But even just off of Trey's defense and LaMelo's size advantage, you could call this a mismatch. But he gets an even bigger mismatch by calling for the screen. And then, again, without immediately trying to go ISO or trying to do too much, slips it to Gordon Hayward for an even bigger mismatch. And then this is good offense because Trey, even if he jumped, this isn't going to be a contest, but it was bad defense. But a lot of it was just LaMelo seeing, understanding what the Hawks' weaknesses are. Right, the Hawks have solid defenders at in Cam Reddish and Kevin Huerter and DeAndre Hunter and John Collins, but Trey Young is really the weak point of their defense by far. And LaMelo attacks that by getting a mismatch for his best offensive player going up against their worst defensive player. Really nice shot. And again, these look like really simple plays and simple reads, and they are, but just the ability to slow an offense down and say, all right, let's get this. Let's get this play for our best player going up against their worst player. That's something you like to see from your, again, franchise point guard. Just that um just being a floor general. Again, going up and getting that rebound, not being afraid of the contact, getting it out early in transition, and he's not afraid to let go of the ball, and that's what I really like. The ability to again find his guys there. It's not ISO hold on to the ball for 14 seconds and then pass. Like he's just making the right passes. You're gonna see here LaMelo's gonna use his height advantage over Trey Young to get the offensive rebound. And whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end, again, he's not afraid to go in there, box out, get after it. Nice winning play there. And then to finish it off, nice finish in transition over Clint Capella, who's a decent rim protector. So I talked about this before in the pre-draft breakdown of LaMelo. I have the link above right now, but he's a pretty good finisher around the rim. He's by no means an elite athlete, but he has a decent layup package. He can finish with both hands, can get pretty creative, has a nice touch, nice finger roll, and also has the floater. I think as he gets bigger, stronger, more experienced, that's another thing he'll get better at. There are some holes in his game, obviously. You want to see him become a better defender on ball, especially, and just remain engaged on that end, not just with the steals, but just overall good, solid defense. And then just little things, right? Learning how to get to the free throw line more and then continuing his improvements in the jump shooting category. But overall, I mean, whether it's just from the short video, the short, game with the Hawks and then just short career so far, I do think the biggest thing is just he makes winning plays. And whether it's the rebounding at his position, or the passing. And the passing isn't just the assists he's averaging, the 5 to 6 assists he's averaging. It's the fact that the passes are on time and it's not necessarily just for assists. He's just making the right plays, the right passes, getting ahead to guys, even if it's not for an assist, and making that extra pass. And when you have your playmaker and especially franchise point guard or who you want to be your franchise point guard making plays like that, it does really change the team. And I talked about this in my next video, and I know some people cringe at the word culture, but it can, I mean, it can change your culture, right? If your franchise point guard is making these little plays, guys are going to run harder and just, play with more effort, and it can really bring a team together. And it's good to see this Hawks or the Hornets team. I didn't have a lot of expectations going into the season, but Gordon Hayward's healthy and playing really well. Terry Rozier's playing well. I don't know how many games they'll win, but they are fun to watch. And look, I think LaMelo's, the hope is he continues to get more minutes. And again, it sucks what's happened to Devontae Graham, but I think with more minutes, with more experience, we can start to see, some really good statistical games. And just if we can continue to see that growth, I think all the doubts about LaMelo's game has been kind of put to rest so far. Look, again, the defense isn't great. The shooting from three can get better, and same with the free throw percentage. Ideally, you want your point guard to shoot 80 or higher, and he's just below that right now. But for an 8 game span, I'll admit it. He's playing better than I thought, and because he had two pretty bad games early on, single digit scoring and didn't look great. But if you take those out, I mean, I told you guys the last 5 games, right? He's averaging like 15, 6 and 6 on 43% shooting. If you told me that within the first 10 games he's gonna have a 5 game stretch where he's averaging those numbers, I probably wouldn't have believed it. And look, he's I thought he'd be good. I definitely thought he'd be good. I just didn't think it happened this quick. But yeah, I mean, it's very exciting to watch. Very, good for the league. And, very excited to see him play against his brother tonight. Hopefully they match up against each other. And Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That'll be it for today. We'll have another video hopefully Monday. If you guys could subscribe, like, share, and comment on this one, I'd appreciate it. Go check out our other videos. Just did one on the Knicks and their good start yesterday or on Wednesday, and then did one on Steph's 62-point game on Monday. We'll have our social media links in the description below. Go follow that. We'll follow you back. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again soon. Peace.